In a war where each moment was a landmine hidden under the soil, in chaos where commanders shouted and raged to keep their lines from collapsing, there stood a man for whom every heartbeat of the front meant only one thing: time. He saw war not as a battlefield drenched in blood, but as a giant clock, with every gear, from top commanders to the coldest, mud-soaked soldier in the trenches, turning in measured precision. No earlier, no later, not even by a single second. And it was this mechanical accuracy that kept alive a front the entire world thought was already doomed. Episode 17.4. Franz Rohr von Denta, the Clockmaker of Discipline. Short introduction. In this episode, we follow a commander who, amid madness and collapse, didn't rely on emotion, didn't rely on shouting, didn't rely on heroic moments. He relied on precision. Franz Rohr von Denta was a man who believed that disorder was deadlier than artillery. So he shaped the battlefield, not with luck, not with inspiration, but with calculation. This is the story of a general who turned war into a giant machine and stood as the tireless clockmaker who refused to let it run down. Scene 1. Clock strikes war, 1914, Balkan Front. Sharp mountains, deep ravines, ground so unforgiving that every meter costs lives. From the moment he arrives, the young officers realize something strange. He doesn't ask, "How many men do we have?" He asks, "How many minutes do we have?" He spreads maps on the dirt, tracing the lines with a slow finger, then calmly says, "If we hold here 20 minutes longer, we buy 4 hours over there." Soldiers had never seen a commander view war like a timing equation, but he did. And he understood that survival is built on the seconds others fail to notice. Scene 2. Clockmaker of Precision, 1915. At dawn, units do not simply wake up, they synchronize. Companies move in calculated intervals. Battalions slot into position at exact predetermined hours. Logistics arrive like oiled gears in a machine, never early, never late. A young officer later wrote, "He made the war act like a mechanism, not a monster." Whenever a line faltered, he issued orders in a short, exact, unemotional voice. "Delay the axis 10 minutes. It will hold for 30. And he was always right. Scene 3. Clockmaker of Balance, 1916. Russian pressure mounts, an endless wave crashing against the front. The earth trembles, the army bends. Even veteran officers confess they have never felt a force like this. But in the command post, amid explosions, he straightens the max, lays down his old wooden ruler, and murmurs. They hold until minute 52. Shift troops at 53. Everything is a matter of time. A communications officer recalled, "Where the rest of us only heard noise, he heard the clock. And minute by minute, that clock kept the line from dying." Scene 4. The Man Who Would Not Break, 1917. The year of exhaustion. The year of endless casualties. The year the army was thinning to the bone. Most commanders hoped for miracles. He believed in something simpler: calculation. When a unit broke, he didn't panic. He shifted troops, rearranged support lines, patched gaps with mathematical calm. Even when the enemy was crushing the army's lungs, the rhythm of the war never slipped from his control. Soldiers said, "As long as Denta stood, we stood. Even without shells, even without food. He kept the front alive with discipline, not force. Scene 5. The legacy of a mechanist. End of the war. Empires collapsed. Maps were redrawn. Many names sank into the noise of history. But inside military reports, one line appears again and again. Without Denta, the front would have fallen months earlier. He didn't fight for fame. He didn't fight for glory. He didn't fight for a place in books. He fought to keep a giant clock turning until the very last second allowed to him. And that made him the silent mechanist within a war filled with deafening chaos. Down below, preview, episode 17.5, Oskar Potiorek, the man who gambled with a front. In the next episode, we meet a commander whose decisions were as deadly as bullets. A man who led his front not through caution, but through risk. Sometimes brilliant, sometimes disastrous. Always on the edge of a knife, he willingly stepped onto. If you want to discover how Oskar Potiorek placed the fate of an entire army on reckless choices, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and be ready for episode 17.5.